day-to-day execution. And we know that teams need a clear way to align their work with top company priorities. They need to track progress and also quickly identify risks before they become blockers. So with our enhanced goal management capabilities, you're able to align initiatives to company goals and track execution in one place. And this is really going to help your team see how their work contributes to the bigger picture, but also ensure that strategic objectives are staying front and center as your teams are executing their day-to-day work and working in their zone of genius. So once you have your goals and initiatives in one place, we know that's critical. What's also critical is staying on top of progress. So with our new enhanced reporting and portfolio capabilities, you're going to be able to generate reports, monitor execution timelines, and spot risks early. So this is going to allow you and your team to take action before delays impact your results. And we also know that data alone isn't enough. And while dashboards are great, leaders need that additional insight and context that they can quickly act on to make informed decisions. So with enhancements like text widgets and dashboards and portfolio team sharing, you'll be able to quickly bring your reporting to life so you and your team can quickly identify trends, add context to metrics, and keep leadership informed in real time so they can make those fast, informed decisions. So now that we've covered the importance of aligning work to goals, let's take a closer look at how Asana helps you and your team move from strategy to execution, ensuring that your work stays on track and that leadership has those real-time insights they need. So as I mentioned, we know that teams often struggle after setting their high-level goals to connect that high-level strategy and top priorities to their day-to-day work. So while goals might be set at the beginning of the year, without real-time tracking, it's easy for projects to drift off course or risks to go unnoticed. We know that leaders need that clear view of progress, and our teams need that connection between their day-to-day work and top company priorities. You need a more efficient way to track work, adjust plans, and communicate insights without spending tons of time corralling status updates and doing manual reports. So today we're going to touch on our new strategy map, which is a great way to easily visualize how your company-wide goals break down into key initiatives, ensuring that work stays connected to top business priorities. We're also going to dive into new enhancements like goal status PDF exports, portfolio PowerPoint exports, and our portfolio timeline improvements that give everyone that instant visibility they need to dive into progress and identify risks in real time. We're also going to dive into our new customizable text widgets for dashboards that make it easier to add context to reports, and then portfolio team sharing, which has been a big customer request, and it helps you ensure that the right stakeholders have access to the insights they need within your portfolio. So now let's dive into these innovations, starting with how teams can use Strategy Map to align work to goals. As I mentioned earlier, a common challenge for teams is actually ensuring that when they're executing their day-to-day work, when they're working in their zone of genius, that their actual projects are actually in support of company-wide goals. And sometimes it's difficult to do that without seeing a clear visual connection of how your projects, portfolios actually ladder up to top company priorities. And it's easy for your day-to-day priority to sometimes become misaligned to top level company priorities, or to actually just like lose sight of how your contributions impact the bigger picture. So we are super excited to introduce Strategy Map. And this is where it really comes in because it allows you to see not only your mission, your company-wide objectives, but you can actually use Strategy Map to break down the supporting work like key initiatives, projects, ensuring alignment at every level of your organization. So I'll be demoing that in a bit. But with Strategy Map, it really helps you just get that clarity by visually connecting your day-to-day work to high-level goals. It also helps leadership spot gaps and overlaps in strategic planning. So it's a great diagnostics tool as well. And overall, it's going to help you drive better focus and collaboration. So it's going to tie your team's efforts to those meaningful outcomes that your organization wants to drive. So this feature is especially useful for goal management overall, strategic planning, and really helping your team stay aligned, but also adjust their priorities as needed. And now, once all your goals are in one place, you're tracking them in a centralized hub, it's really important, as I mentioned earlier, to keep leadership and stakeholders informed to the progress of goals and initiatives over time to make sure that they stay on track and you course correct any issues before they delay or impact your results. But we know that too often that means manually corralling reports, tagging teammates for the latest status updates, and also just sharing information across disparate multiple tools. So I'm very, very excited to announce today that goal status PDF exports are now available in Asana, and they make this process more seamless. So with goal status PDF exports, you're going to be able to actually download polished presentation ready PDF of your goals, complete with status updates. You can also include status of their corresponding sub goals, so your leadership team, your stakeholders can stay aligned without actually needing to log into Asana. So this is actually going to help you easily share progress with your executive team and then the cross-functional teams you're collaborating with. You'll be able to highlight key updates. So as I mentioned, you can add your goal status update, include sub-goal roll-ups, and these are easy to generate in just a few seconds, as I'll show you in the demo. So if you have an executive review, NBR, and QBR, these goal status PDF exports are perfect for that. So whether you're preparing for an upcoming leadership meeting or you need to provide an update for external stakeholders that are not using Asana, goal status PDF exports really ensure that your reporting stays clear, consistent, effortless, and saves you all that time corralling information and formatting a report. And next, I'm actually going to talk about how we're taking reporting even a step further with portfolio PowerPoint exports, which helps leaders turn data and insights that they can act on. So we know that keeping those executives informed on portfolio progress means spending countless hours manually compiling slides, pulling status updates, and formatting reports. And earlier we had shipped portfolio PDF exports, and now we're taking this to the next level with portfolio PowerPoint exports to simplify this process. So now you can go to your portfolio and instantly download a polished presentation slide with portfolio details, status updates, and key milestones. So you can actually customize what's being included in this PowerPoint export without that extra work. You know, we've all been there. You have a leadership meeting coming up. They want to see the latest and greatest on the status of a portfolios, and then it's time to get all that portfolio data together and put it in a slide deck. Now this is really eliminating that additional work by instantly being able to download that polished presentation ready report and quickly generate those professional slides to showcase project progress. It also saves you time by just converting this portfolio data into an easy to share deck, and you can customize these presentations to really match what your reporting needs are. So do you have an operating review coming up or a leadership check-in? You can leverage the portfolio exports to make it easy to share insights at the right time. So now that we've talked about sharing insights from goals and portfolios, let's look at how teams can actually track execution in real time with our most recent portfolio timeline improvements. So after you shared progress updates with your leadership team, it's also important to ensure your teams are actually moving their work forward efficiently. So this is where the enhanced portfolio timeline comes in. So we've been shipping a couple improvements over the last couple of months to really up-level our portfolio timeline and help teams better track execution, manage dependencies, and quickly adjust their plans in real time. So if you're using the portfolio timeline view, what's new? So you may have noticed that the portfolio timeline now has a new grid back layout, and we've also expanded the capacity to up to 1,500 items, really making it more powerful. We've introduced multi-filter sorting, and you may have noticed a new resizable left pane to give you that greater flexibility. You can actually now expand the column with project names. They're no longer cut off. And really, this is all around giving you greater visibility into the projects within your portfolio. Teams can actually now use a right side panel to see project details without leaving the timeline view. So if you're looking at the timeline view, you can quickly dive into project details without leaving it. And this is all in benefit of gaining better visibility with this new structured timeline and its increased capacity. You can also improve your reporting and tracking with multi-filter sorting and the enhanced toolbar. And this is all customizable to your workflows. So you can resize that left pane for a more tailored view. So if you're a portfolio manager or you're working across cross-functional teams and you need to report on the latest status of your portfolios or just really keep track of upcoming milestones and unblock teams, using this enhanced timeline is going to be just better for your organization, help you with faster decision making, and really give you a clearer view into execution risks before they become blockers. So now we've covered execution with the portfolio timeline enhancements. So now I want to dive into a little bit more on how we're enhancing dashboard reporting with our customizable text widgets and dashboards. So we know dashboards in Asana are a super powerful tool to bring performance and metrics to life, but we all know that numbers alone don't always tell the full story. So this is a great enhancement to actually help you and your teams provide that additional context that's going to better bring the insights in the dashboards to life. So with these text widgets, you're able to highlight trends that are going to help guide decision making without relying on a separate report or a meeting to actually guide your cross-functional stakeholders or your leadership teams through the dashboards and really show them what they mean. So with this update, you're able to add summaries, links, and contextual information directly into dashboards. So this is going to help your stakeholders quickly interpret data and take action and make those informed decisions rather than spending time understanding what does this dashboard mean? So overall, this adds clarity by helping you summarize key takeaways alongside data. It enhances your dashboard so you're able to link out to supporting documents, reports, or playbooks, and really helps you uplevel your dashboard by customizing this view to fit your team and project needs. So whether it's a business review or executive reporting, this makes dashboards a lot more actionable, giving you and your teams just the insights you need without sifting through spreadsheets or emails or having to have a meeting to actually go through the dashboard and explain what the different things in the dashboard mean. And last but not least, before I dive into the demo around how you can turn strategies into results with our latest capabilities, we know that collaboration is key to execution, but keeping everyone aligned, especially when you're working across multiple teams or managing several portfolios, it can be a little bit challenging. So this is where portfolio team sharing comes in. So now you may have noticed if you're using portfolios already that you can quickly share portfolios across entire teams. So this ensures you're sharing portfolios with the right people. It saves you time without having to add individuals one by one to your portfolio. But what's great about this, it also helps you manage access better. So this is all about simplifying access management by allowing you to share portfolios in bulk. It ensures the right people have the right visibility, so the different access levels to the portfolio, and streamline collaboration by making it more easy for teams to stay informed. So this is going to make it easier than ever for cross-functional teams, execs, stakeholders to stay aligned on key initiatives without that constant back and forth and all that additional admin work from your end to really get the right stakeholders to understand that portfolio data. So now I'm going to quickly share my screen and we are going to dive into these features live. Awesome. Hopefully everyone can see my screen. Meet Jamie. Jamie is a PMO lead at Phoenix Media. So her and her team are responsible for ensuring that marketing programs and initiatives are prioritized effectively, are executed effectively, and that they ladder up to top company priorities to drive the results that Phoenix Media wants to achieve as an organization. So Jamie and team love using Asana goals because it centralizes all of Phoenix Media's goals into one place. And they've recently been using the strategy map view of goals to see how top level goals ladder down to the day-to-day projects and portfolios that drive those goals forward. And her teams have been loving this view as well because a challenge they had in the past was they couldn't really tell how their day-to-day work actually tied to high level goals, so they can easily see how their work drives the bigger picture forward. So Jamie dives into the strategy map view. Here you can see Phoenix Media's mission, and you can see the top level objectives for the year, like expanding global market presence, enhancing employee engagement and satisfaction, and implementing sustainable practices. Jamie's particularly interested in goals that are owned by the marketing team, like increasing viewership and audience engagement. So from the strategy map view, she's able to quickly dive in and see the supporting goals and initiatives that ladder up to this top level company objective. So here she can see key results like expanding strategic partnerships, increasing brand awareness by 25% that ladder up to this goal. She can quickly see its status, its supporting projects. We have another key result here of launching 5 compelling new TV programming campaigns. And this is particularly of interest to Jamie because she sees that this is at risk. So she can quickly dive in and actually see all the supporting TV campaign projects that are in support of the launching new TV campaigns goal for 2025. And she can also see that there's a TV programming campaign portfolio that is tracking this body of work as well. So she can quickly use a strategy map, not only to see how goals connect to each other and their underlying initiatives, but it's a great diagnostics tool to see what's off track. As part of her role, Jamie is responsible for actually reporting to her leadership team and her CMO on the latest status of goals. So she wants to make sure that her team is in the know about the latest status of this key result. So from the strategy map view, it's easier than ever to just click in and see the latest updates on launch 5 compelling new TV programming campaigns. And the status update, you'll see an overview of blockers, next steps, and action items. And from here, Jamie is actually quickly able to dive into the goal for her upcoming status update for her CMO team. She can update the status really quickly by leveraging Asana AI to drop a status update. This goal still remains at risk. So Asana AI can help Jamie really cut down that busy work by analyzing the underlying projects that are connected to the goal to help her write that status update. It scans linkable documents and refines it for accuracy and relevance. So here, Asana AI is generating an update. So once that update is done, Jamie will see it come up here, and she'll be able to quickly leverage the new goal status PDF exports to actually download an PDF version of the goal status update. So here, Jamie's quickly able to see a summary of the KR of launching 5 compelling new TV programming campaigns with details on the goal, like goal completion, like progress, accountable team, time period, and get a summary of all the supporting campaigns that support this goal. She can change the format, whether it's portrait and landscape, and also customize what is included in the export. So this is great for Jamie and team to be able to download this report. Next up, Jamie is also responsible in sharing updates around the latest status of a TV programming portfolio and overall all the different marketing programs and portfolios. So she's going to dive into the 2025 TV programming campaigns portfolio. Here, Jamie has created tailored views of her portfolio. She's landed on the executive view. She also has a campaign timeline view. And here she can see key metrics for an upcoming monthly business review with her leadership team. She's also able to dive in with the enhanced portfolio timeline view and see how different milestones for the different TV campaigns are tracking. So she's able to expand here to see the full project name. She's able to sort by status to see what's on track and what's at risk more easily. She sees that the Beyond the Frame campaign is off track. She also sees as the Cosmic Rhythms campaign is off track. So she's able to actually look over here and see that there's 2 milestones from the Beyond the Frame campaign that are off track, and there's an email launch off track here. So Jamie can dive in and see that the social media launch and the web launch are a little bit delayed and they might be putting this campaign at risk. So she quickly dives in without having to leave the portfolio timeline view and able to see that Hannah's campaign was supposed to launch February 17th. So she can quickly chat with Hannah, send her a message, "Hey Hannah, how can I help you unblock this campaign?" So she can also zoom out to see just the broader picture in terms of milestones. And as I mentioned, she's able to create customizable views of this portfolio timeline and give it a new name or create different views for different stakeholders. Since Jamie's executive reporting review is coming up, her NBR, she wants to download this into a polished presentation ready slide deck. In the old world, Amy would have to corral through this portfolio and look at the different metrics like latest status, progress, budget, spend, viewership numbers, and actually take this information and put it into a deck, which was quite time consuming. So now with portfolio PowerPoint exports, she can easily just dive in and download a PowerPoint export of her preferred view. So she wants to create a presentation for MBR based on the executive view. So she's able to quickly export here. She'll get a preview of what the slide deck is going to look like. And then see all the key metrics and custom fields like launch date, owner, status, progress, and budget. So she'll be able to get a slide on each of the projects in the portfolio and easily export this portfolio into polished presentation ready PowerPoint that she can leverage for upcoming executive review. Next up, in preparation for executive review, Jamie wants to look at key metrics within the TV programming campaign dashboard. So she goes to the dashboard view. Here, she's able to see a sum of her budget, how much budget has been spent, and other key metrics like campaign status, total task by launch phase, or incomplete task by assignee. This is all great data for a leadership team, but they just need that additional color to make these fast, informed decisions on how the TV programming campaigns are performing and understand how they can unblock work that might be at risk. So with the new customizable text widgets, which you can add right here, you can add more color to your dashboard views. So here, Jamie has crafted an update, adding more color into the dashboard. For example, calling out that they've actually only spent 3.5 million out of the 18 million budget. So there's wiggle room to allocate resources to more high performing campaigns. And then she also mentions that there's two campaigns that are at risk due to overdue tasks. So we saw that in the portfolio timeline view. There were a couple of milestones there tied to channel launches that were overdue. So she can add more color and let her leadership team know that their teams are actually going to be prioritizing the activation or overdue channel launches to course correct these campaigns being at risk. And she can use links here to link out to a channel strategy plan. She can also add images or links to other reports on the dashboard. And what's great about this is that she can actually leverage Asana AI to refine this text in the text widget to make sure it's clear. So you can use Asana AI to modify tone, shorten, lengthen, and just better format this update. So she uses Asana AI's recommendation here. So now this dashboard is ready to be shared. She can actually move the widget up. So there's context as soon as her executive team is viewing the dashboard. And in the old world, Jamie would have to actually share this portfolio one by one with her executive team and actually manage permissions one by one. But with the new portfolio team sharing, she's actually able to just quickly find her marketing leadership team here and add it to this portfolio. She's also able to manage access permissions to within this modal and also make sure select whether to send portfolio updates and messages to the people who this portfolio is shared with, to notify members. She can also quickly grant access to all the projects in this portfolio. So all the stakeholders that she's working with have access to the right information. So she can quickly invite these folks rather than spending tons of time on admin work. So overall, with these new capabilities that we've shipped to help you turn strategy into results, starting with goals, Jamie is able to ensure that her teams are executing efficiently and making sure that marketing initiatives are really driving that real-time impact. So as you saw in the demo, you're able to align strategic goals with execution using Strategy Map. You can dive into your goals and quickly generate a goal status PDF export, providing that real-time progress update in just a few clicks. You can generate PowerPoint polish-ready presentations in just a few clicks as well to really save time and help your executive team make more informed decisions. You can track execution risks with the new enhanced portfolio timeline. And then with the new dashboards and portfolio sharing capability, you can also just add context to data and share your portfolio seamlessly. So with Asana and these new enhancements that are part of our winter release, like Jamie isn't just tracking projects or monitoring work or just reporting up on projects. She's actually driving like high level marketing strategy, keeping her teams aligned, and just making sure overall execution stays on track very seamlessly. So now I'm going to hand it off to my colleague, Hannah Lee, who is going to talk about another exciting piece of this winter release, which is all around simplifying request tracking.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm thrilled to be here and to walk you through the latest innovations that can help simplify and standardize critical workflows, improve cross team collaboration, and ultimately enable teams to drive greater impact. As Lomo mentioned before, we have thousands of you attending live. To accommodate the high demand, we've enabled live streaming, which some of you may be tuning into right now. If you're on the live stream, please note that while you won't be able to participate in the polls or submit questions at this time, you're still watching the webinar in real time, and we look forward to receiving your feedback. Now let's dive into the capabilities that can help seamlessly centralize requests across the organization. We know that managing incoming internal requests from every which way can be chaotic. Teams often rely on scattered emails, Slack messages, or spreadsheets, making it difficult to track work efficiently. With these latest features in Asana, we're enabling a much more centralized and structured workflow to capture, track, and manage requests across teams and the company end to end. Firstly, eliminate the guesswork from work intake by ensuring a standardized way to submit and capture requests so that teams get the right information straight from the start. Secondly, ensure that the requests can be automatically captured, categorized, and triaged to aggregate that key context up front, eliminating any potential back and forths and preventing requests from getting stuck or unanswered. And finally, accelerate request tracking and management with automated and integrated workflows that can assign work to the right people, set deadlines, trigger updates, and more, all the while keeping stakeholders informed on the progress with seamless communication. You'll find that we've introduced powerful new capabilities designed to drive efficiencies and enhance business critical workflows. In terms of standardizing work intake, in addition to the forms, custom fields, and project templates that customers already know and love, we've now enabled all form submitters or requesters to be able to reply to their submission via email, keeping communication and collaboration intact even if they don't have an Asana license. New custom task types and statuses will also allow workflows to closely mirror how a team actually categorizes and tracks requests in their daily or weekly or monthly operations, ensuring customization and more clarity at every stage of the workflow. Let's dive into a bit more detail around these features. We recognize that different teams or functions have unique workflows, and standard task structures aren't always tailored fit to fit every use case. With custom task types, teams can define and set the task type or category, tailor statuses, and map workflows to match their specific needs or unique processes. For instance, you can set and customize task types to reflect different use cases. Consider setting the name to things like marketing request for marketing and creative teams, tickets for operations, support, and IT teams, and even bugs for engineering and product teams. These customizations not only align to how teams actually work, but also improves clarity and collaboration across the multiple different teams and departments. It can especially unlock a ton of value for company-wide use cases like ticketing in addition to request tracking. Another major value add that I'm personally so excited to announce is the ability to manage and track requests across internal stakeholders that don't hold an Asana license. With centralized request tracking, teams can capture, manage, and resolve requests efficiently all in one place. Form submitters or requesters can simply reply to their submission via email as long as they have a shared company email address. Again, no Asana license requirement. Requesters and requestees can stay seamlessly connected on the work through automated updates and email replies, as well as comments in Asana. With this functionality, internal teams and collaborators can easily track, manage, and resolve requests from inception all the way through to resolution. We just can't wait for you to try it and let us know what y'all think. Now, let's take a look at how these features can come to life in a live demo. Hopefully, y'all can see my screen. I'm excited to present and say hello to Walter, the marketing operations lead at Phoenix Media. Walter and his team are responsible for managing and overseeing marketing processes to ensure that key initiatives, marketing campaigns, and programs are delivered on time and on budget. The marketing team tends to receive a high volume of requests from sales and product teams on a weekly basis. However, not everyone uses Asana internally or even has an Asana license. So requests often come in scattered or piecemeal via Slack, desk side chats, and lengthy meetings. Walter has set up a dedicated project called Marketing Inbox to capture and consolidate all the requests for the marketing team, spanning campaigns, creative, and/or all of the above in one place. He's also set up an efficient and standardized way for the organization at large to submit requests to the marketing team using an Asana form, which enables submitters to gain real-time visibility into the status or fulfillment of their request. The form captures all the important details and context so that information doesn't get lost in the shuffle. To enable fluid company-wide communication, Walter heads over to the Form Settings tab and ensures that the access is set to organization only. He checks to make sure that the toggle to receive email replies is turned on so that the team can receive comments from the form submitter or requester. He also double checks to make sure that the toggle to send email replies is on to allow the team to send comments via email back to the submitter. Let's see how our sales rep, Rosie, who does not have an Asana license, submits a request to the marketing team. Rosie proceeds to input all the details into the intake form and goes ahead and hits submit, a request for a new campaign proposal for a new client that she's pitching. The form should automatically create a task in Asana and at the same time sends a confirmation email back to Rosie. Any direct replies from Rosie will appear as a comment in Asana. Now Walter proceeds to send a quick internal note to the campaign producer regarding the request. Walter writes and decides to tag in his producer, Michelle. And as they work through or scope out the details, they can also selectively choose to send comments back to Rosie via email. Walter decides to tag in and write back to Rosie, please attach the client's brand guidelines. All he has to do is simply select the box to send response to submitter, and it will send the comment back to Rosie as an email. Internal collaborator comments and email responses to the form submitter are visually distinct, ensuring clear lanes of communication. This ability to communicate with form submitters in the organization with no Asana license requirement speeds up time to resolution. Now that the requests are centralized, Walter also needs to ensure that the team has a consistent way to categorize and track the work. He proceeds to task templates within the customized menu in order to create a new task type in the dropdown, naming it marketing request. This ensures that it's easy to organize, track, and report on the work in a way that reflects his team's unique workflows. There's a ton of different use cases for custom task types. Engineering teams, for instance, may use it to track bugs. Operations teams might use it to track tickets, and Walter's team here is using it to track marketing requests. Beyond creating and customizing task types, Walter also assigns custom status options such as not yet started, pending review, and approved to reflect where the work truly stands, and to automatically keep the request moving forward and teams chugging along, Walter sets up a rule so that when the task custom status is set to pending review, the comment is automatically added to notify the campaign manager that the request is ready for approval, as shown here. Since every request now follows a very consistent and standard structure, Walter can just as easily sort or group by the custom task type or status to view all the marketing requests, escalations, or inquiries at a glance. This makes it so that everything can be taken in at a full sweep and teams know where they need to focus, what the status is to continue to move the work along. And to help reinforce consistency and standardization in the team's workflow, Walter navigates to the project settings in the customized menu and sets the marketing request, as shown here, as the default task type, which instantly gets reflected throughout the project. Very exciting. And lastly, within the dashboard view, Walter can track and report out on custom task types and statuses for deeper insights. He's able to visualize the status of the marketing requests and proactively identify ways to improve the ongoing workflow. With Asana, Walter is able to set the marketing team up for success by streamlining internal requests and standardizing team workflows, ensuring requests are completed faster and much more efficiently. And with that, that concludes our live demo portion of the webinar. Back over to you, Lomo.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hannah and Zarita. That was so incredible. I am so excited about all of these amazing new features. I am personally so stoked about custom task types. I know it's just going to be a huge game changer for our community content calendar. For those of you on Zoom, let's go ahead and interact a little bit via a poll. You just saw all of these amazing features. Which one are you most excited about today to try out? Go ahead and take the poll now. Right, I'm seeing lots of different answers. Love it. Closing the poll. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And looks like a pretty healthy distribution across them. A lot of people I can't choose, but of course, custom task types and statuses are right up there. Love to see it. Thanks, y'all. Okay, let's go ahead and move into Q&A. I'll leave this slide up as we jump into it. Since there are many of you here, we won't get to each and every question, but we'll do our best to address a broad range of questions. After today's webinar, we'll post the recording in the forum along with our most asked questions, including some we couldn't answer live, along with their answers. So since custom task types and statuses were the most requested, let's go ahead and start there. So not sure who to give this to, Hannah or Zarita, but for custom task types and statuses, can any member of a project create custom task types and statuses?
Sure, thanks, Lomo. I can take that one. Only users with the selected project admin or editor permissions for that project are able to create custom task types and statuses. This just makes sure that the projects have a lot more consistency and structure by selecting only the admins and editors to be able to edit those.
Awesome, makes perfect sense. And then can I create my own custom task types, or do I have to use the default ones?
Yes, you can create your own custom task types to just better match your team's unique processes and workflows. And essentially, like I showed in the demo, you can name the task type to whatever works best for you and your team. In Walter, our marketing ops lead example, he chose to name it marketing request. An engineering or product team might choose to name it and classify it as a bug, or an operations and IT teams might use it to classify it as a ticket. The world is your oyster.
Love it. Beautiful. And as someone who personally loves to color code things, can I set custom colors for my task statuses?
Confirming, yes, you can.
Amazing. So now moving on, again, within the custom task types and statuses, but a little bit more technical, do tasks maintain their custom status when they are multi-homed into another project?
Yes, the simple answer is yes, it will retain that custom task type and status even when it's added to another project or multi-homed.
Awesome. I know there's a lot of excitement around AI. So can I use custom task types when building smart workflows with AI Studio?
So glad you asked. Yes, it is intended to work seamlessly with smart workflows with AI Studio. And just like task statuses can be used to trigger automations and used as a condition or rule and action, custom task types can also be used in AI powered rules and workflows to automate your processes.
Beautiful. Love to hear it. Final question on this topic. Can I use custom task types in reporting?
Yes, much like our marketing ops lead Walter showed in his demo, you can. Custom task types can be used in reporting and dashboards, and you can filter, group, and analyze tasks based on their specific type, whether it's a milestone, a task approval, or like we just saw in the demo, by marketing request, which is the custom task type.
Amazing. Fantastic. Thank you, Hannah. Now I'm going to move on to request tracking as it relates to form submitter communication. So is it possible to allow non-Asana users to submit a request through a form?
Yes, that is the beauty of the Asana form, which also has gone a lot of enhancements in the last couple of months. Asana forms can essentially be shared with anyone via a link. Simply copy the link to that form from the form settings bar at the top. It does allow users who have access to the form to submit the request without needing an Asana account or login, as long as they have that shared same email address or domain.
Got it. Okay. So then can I communicate with people outside of my organization using request tracking?
Unfortunately, not at the moment. It is really intended for internal request tracking and internal request management. So people outside the organization or company that don't have that shared email address can't submit. However, the exception is if they are added as a guest.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So guests can do that. Coolio. And then final question on this piece, can teammates create a request via email?
Yes, so requests just need to be submitted via the form link that was provided or copied over from that designated request tracking or form submission project.
Great. Thanks, Hannah.
Sure.
I'll move on to portfolio PowerPoint exports. Got a lot of questions and a lot of excitement around this. So can I export portfolios to Google Slides?
So at the moment, you can only export portfolios via the PowerPoint export, PDF, and CSV, but you can import the PowerPoint export into Google Slides once you have it downloaded. And I know there were some questions in the chat around what a portfolio PowerPoint export looks like. So um, here is a sneak peek at what this actually looks like in practice. So you get a PowerPoint export with all the different details, and you can customize this.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarita. Is there a limit to the number of projects you can report on using the portfolio PowerPoint export?
Yes. So you can report up to 20 projects using the portfolio PowerPoint export. But we've heard loud and clear since this feature has been out for a couple weeks that there's interest in reporting on more than 20 projects. So we're passing along this request to our product team. So stay tuned for more info.
Good. Very excited for that. Can I send the exported PowerPoint to the people who don't use Asana?
Yes. So once you download that PowerPoint export, you can customize it and send it to any stakeholder that you want to collaborate with using the PowerPoint export.
Awesome. And then last question on this piece, does the exported portfolio update automatically update when the portfolio changes?
That's a great question. So the portfolio PowerPoint export is a snapshot of the portfolio at the time that you're exporting that data. So if you want an updated export based on any changes to your portfolios and projects, you'll need to generate a new export, and those updates will then be reflected.
Awesome. Totally makes sense. Staying on theme of the exports, I'm now moving to goals PDF. Does the goals status PDF exports apply to company goals and their sub goals?
Yeah, so you can download the PDF with the status of company goals and their corresponding sub goals. So while you're exporting the goals, status PDF export on that left pane, you can specify whether you just want top level goals or whether you also want to include the sub goal updates in that report.
Beautiful. And who can use the goals PDF export feature?
So actually, anyone with access to Goal in Asana can export it as a PDF. The permissions for PDF exports follow standard Asana goal visibility settings. So if you have the ability to edit a goal, then you have the ability to actually export that goal as well.
Amazing. And can you reiterate what information is included in that exported PDF?
Yeah, of course. So the PDF export can include data like goal name, its status, owner, associated subgoals, and also pulling that full status update for those subgoals as well. The latest status updates and supporting details like who's the accountable team, the time period for that goal, its progress metric, and the goal type, whether it's objective or key result.
Awesome. Can I send the exported PDF to people who are outside of Asana or who don't use Asana?
Yeah, of course. So the beauty of goal PDF exports is that you can easily share these goal updates with anyone. They don't need to have access to Asana.
Awesome. I know you're talking about permissions as well a little earlier. So can I export private goals?
Yeah, you can definitely export private goals as long as you have access to that goal. So you can only export goals that you have permission to view. So private goals will follow the same visibility restrictions. So as long as you have access to a private goal, you'll be able to export that goal data into the PDF export.
Awesome. Makes total sense. Final question on this feature. Does the exported PDF update automatically when the goal changes?
So no, similar to PowerPoint exports, the goal status PDF exports are a snapshot in time of when you're downloading that goal data. So you'll need to generate a new report if you're making any updates or there's been changes to that goal since you've made that export.
Totally. Awesome. Thanks, Sarita. A couple questions here and there around the portfolio enhancements. So with specificity to timeline, can you adjust the width of the project name column with the new portfolio timeline?
Yes, so I know that has been a customer pain point for a while now. We know that your project names, if they're on the longer side, have been cut off. But now with the portfolio timeline enhancements, you can extend the width of the project name in that column. So project names are no longer cut off in the timeline view.
Yay, love to hear it. And then moving to team sharing within portfolios, can you share the universal dashboard across teams?
Oh, well, you can share overall portfolios across teams. Like as you saw in the demo, Jamie was able to share that portfolio, which included the executive view, the timeline view, and the portfolio dashboard. At the moment, you cannot share universal dashboards across teams. But don't fret because that is actually coming very soon. So expect that functionality to be live around late April, early May. So stay tuned for more details.
Amazing, will do. We've seen so much excitement for quite some time around the strategy map. I mean, it looks like amazing product. And so I have a couple questions around that. Can I customize the view of the strategy map?
So, while strategy map provides that structured visualization of your goals, sub goals, their underlying work like the portfolios, projects, customization options right now are limited. So, right now, as you saw, you can interact with the map to explore different goal relationships and hierarchies, but you can't customize it beyond the different hierarchies.
Awesome. And how is the information on the strategy map updated?
So strategy map is reflecting real-time data based on your org's goals in Asana. So any updates that you make to company goals or team goals or like my goals that which you own or any sub goals are immediately going to be represented on the map. Same with any updates that you make to the underlying work. So if you were to update a project that's linked to a goal or portfolio, that is going to be immediately reflected in the strategy map. And the strategy map also shows the same goals that you see in the company goals tab view.
Very cool. We talked a lot about sharing externally. So can I export or share the strategy map outside of Asana?
So at the moment, we don't support actually exporting the strategy map. directly outside of Asana. However, within Asana, you can have the goals view. Anyone at your organization can go in and see goals within strategy map. And if you want to share strategy map views externally, you can also just take a screenshot and a view of a specific section of the strategy map. There's the ability to zoom in and out, so you can easily take a screenshot and share that screenshot externally.
Very cool. Last question on this feature. So we talk a lot at Asana about how important data is to making sure that we're using Asana really effectively. So are there any prerequisites for using the strategy map effectively?
So no prerequisites per se. Anyone can go in, start using Asana goals, and quickly leverage strategy map. Those company goals will start populating there and their underlying work. But really, to maximize the benefits of strategy map, it's really essential to have a well-structured goal hierarchy in Asana. So really recommend thinking through how your top level company objectives, their underlying sub goals, and the work ladder up to each other, because it's going to help you get a better view of those connections within strategy map. So definitely recommend to think about how you clearly define goals and their sub goals to ensure that strategy map is accurately representing like your organizational structure and the way your strategy should kind of flow